Hey guys, welcome back to Marketing Food Online. It's Damien, and I hope you guys are having a great day. So today, I'm going to give you the 5 keys to a successful catering job off-premise. These are going to be events and different types of gatherings that are not going to be within a facility that you operate, but they're going to be off-premise. So let's get right into it. Okay, guys, all right. So let's get into the 5 keys of success when it comes to catering an event that is off-premise, where you're going to potentially be going into either some type of a park, some type of a corporate setting, anywhere where you're located outside of your own facility or your own kitchen, potentially even your own bakery, whatever it may be. If you're offering catering services, this is much of what we did. We did all of our catering from our Italian bakery. We did it actually at the destination that these different companies were going to have their event. So from experience, I definitely learned that there is a lot to know about how to make it a success. And of course, it's really going to boil down to trial and error. And of course, you need to just be patient with yourself, be patient with your team, your staff, and then move forward and keep learning from every single experience. So let's get right into it. So the one thing you need to be ready for right off the bat, as most caterers would call it, is those inevitable surprises. You know, the things that happen that you're not necessarily planning for. If it happens to be a discrepancy with a menu item, if it's a product that you're cooking. For instance, as an example, there's a lot of events where people prefer kosher products, kosher items. If you happen to realize that the food that was purchased or picked up for the event was not a kosher item, you need to figure out a way to, potentially go to a local venue, a local even grocery store, or a restaurant supply store, and make sure that you've got those on hand to ensure that the guests are getting what they actually paid for. These types of things pop up from time to time, and of course, you just kind of have to be ready for them. Don't necessarily expect them and look forward for them, but things do happen. Stay focused on the plan at hand and stick to what you've already created and what you have in mind for your guests. But just keep in mind that things do happen. So kind of thinking on your feet in a sense and being kind of flexible, making sure that if things pop up, you have the ability to make those decisions to make sure the event runs smooth overall. So kind of understanding that surprises will happen is definitely one you need to be aware of. So the next thing, number 2, you need to understand that there's going to be customers or clients, there's going to be situations that come up where they're going to lose their temper, or they'll get angry, or they'll potentially get mad because something wasn't put in the right place, if something wasn't cooked properly. And sometimes they, as a client or customer, aren't always going to keep a level head about the situation. So what you want to do is you definitely want to keep that in mind. Okay, so as I was mentioned, you're going to have that potential customer or client that's going to lose their temper. You want to make sure, as the event, you're overseeing the event, you're the one running the show, that you keep yourself cool, calm, and collected at all times, and basically be there for the customer or your client. And if something pops up, then you pretty much tell them, you know what, look, I'll take care of it. We've got it. You got to understand that stressful situations do come up in any type of business interaction. That's a no-brainer. But more so when it comes to events that are being catered, because you're kind of in the thick of it. You know what I mean? You've got that event that's going. It's actually happening. It's unfolding as you're there. You got to make sure that everything is running smooth. And from time to time, you're going to come across clients, as I've experienced before, who have a tendency to not necessarily keep their temper in check. But you keeping a level head, keeping yourself cool and calm, brings an understanding to the event and to the situation that will kind of reciprocate. That client will kind of maybe calm down and understand, you know what, this guy is running the show. He knows what he's doing. And everybody can kind of just relax a little bit more when you are in control of yourself and then how you're reacting. So keeping a level-headed, cool, calm, and collected attitude is definitely a big plus. And understand that that's going to happen. There's every event is different, of course. Not every event's going to have that pop up, but expect it or understand that it could potentially be there. So the next one, you want to be hands-on. When I say this, there are some caterers who have a philosophy, if you will, that once they've outlined the event, they've got their staff, that they can kind of just sit back and just, step to the side and just let it unfold. Not a good way to go about it. You need to be, I guess you want to say, involved. You need to be there. You need to be in the moment. You need to be conscious of what's happening, what's going on. So you can give direction, concrete direction to everyone that is underneath you. You're the one that's there running the show. You have brought this event together, and you need to make sure that everybody is on the same page. But that is where you come in, okay? That's where you need to be kind of in the thick of it, and you need to make sure that you're hands-on. If it happens you have a chef that doesn't show up, you might have to throw an apron on and get back there and start working on it. The whole idea is to present the event to your client as you sold it to them. So if you sold them a certain experience, you sold them a certain menu, you need to be there and you need to make sure it happens. So there's always the occasion when you've got a staff, you've got employees who don't show up, or maybe they're late, and that's going to happen. It's just how the world works. But make sure that you could even overschedule yourself so you have enough people there. So potentially, if you need to just send people home or work them into the next event, at least you've got, if you need 20 people there, you bring on board 25, and 20 of them show up and 5 of them may not. So make sure that you're hands on. You've got to be on top of it. So the other thing is be prepared. Now, this is kind of like a no-brainer, just to be organized and to plan ahead and kind of visualize in advance all the aspects of the event that you're throwing is a good idea. Obviously, you need to organize the event. You need to organize the food, the people. That's a given. But be sure to check that you've got enough staff on hand, that you've got everybody there. The event location is set, ready to go. Make sure you've kind of made your checklist and you have everything checked off prior to the event going down and creating the event, making sure that it's all done. And then from that point, when you're there, after you've checked everything off and everything is up and running, then again, like I just mentioned, you got to be involved. You got to be there. Okay. I remember when we first started doing some catering events, that honestly, to be quite honest with you, that was one thing that we kind of lacked in regards to the planning and organization of the events, because it was relatively new to us. It was something we added on to our menu of services at the bakery, at the Italian bakery, because we did sandwiches, we did paninis, we did gelato ice cream. So we had all of these within the retail store. But when you step out into an event and you're not used to outlining and laying out the plan for an event, it's kind of an eye opener when you realize just how much work goes into them. Now, lastly, this is kind of a no-brainer, kind of an elementary thing, is you got to visit the site. You got to go to the place. You got to understand the ins and outs of where you're doing these events. So, if you're doing something within your restaurant and someone's reserved the restaurant, that's one thing, because you know your restaurant, you know your cafe, you know your bakery, you know everything aspect of it. But when you step out into an event place and you're looking at where it's set up, how it's set up, where are people coming in, where's the food going to be kept? Are you warming food up when you get there? Are you preparing food there, or are you making it and bringing it? Look at every aspect of the exits, where they are. Where's the kitchen in regards to the event room or the event hall? Where is all this set up so you know it as well as you possibly can? I would say visit it at least half a dozen times before you actually do it, so you know how many people you have, the tables and where they are, et cetera, et cetera. Because it can be a bit of a challenge when you're going into a separate building, a separate facility that's not yours, okay? And you're wanting to get yourself out there, and you want people to have a really great experience with your catering business. And the word of mouth can be very powerful. And you want to make sure everything runs smoothly. But in order for you to do that, making sure that the event itself is the rooms and everything is taken care of, and it from every single aspect, every single corner, is very important to make it a smooth catered event. Okay, so I just wanted to cover those 5 tips. I actually personally believe that those are very, very important. There's a lot of course, don't get me wrong, a lot of other aspects to getting a catering business up and running, and of course making it a successful catering business. That is the biggest challenge. But these 5 things are something you might want to think about. Maybe you're on the fence and you're not just sure just yet about starting your catering business. But keep in mind these 5 things, and if these 5 things are something you feel you can control, that you have the ability to do, and you're very strong at organizing, you're very hands-on, you have a level head, all of these aspects, which are really aside from creating a menu, creating pricing and everything else, this is where it starts from, and it's kind of a characteristic of your personality. So if these 5 things kind of ring some bells for you, and you kind of can associate with them, well, then that is a good stepping stone to move forward and starting your catering business. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. As always, I like to keep it short and sweet and definitely to the point. If this has been helpful, please do give me a big thumbs up. If you've got any questions about this, as always, let me know down below. I love to interact with my subscribers. If you're not subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe. I've got videos, podcasts, we have blogs, and we have a lot of resources to help you get your food business up and running. And everything that I talk about is always, again, from experience and, of course, from being in the business for over nearly 30 years now. And I'll definitely look forward to seeing you on the next YouTube channel, on my YouTube videos. And you can listen to me on my podcast as well. So I look forward to working with you guys. Take care.